As a child-free person, do you ever feel that your time is not valued in the same way as, let's say, your friends or family members with kids? Well, in this video, we are going to tackle this question, give examples of when it happens, and try to figure out just what we can do to start shifting this inequality of time. Hi friends, welcome to the Child-Free Connection. This channel is for inspiration, support, celebration, and education of living child-free. So if that sounds like a community that you want to be a part of, please take a moment to like this video, click the subscribe button, and hit the bell so that you get notified each time we release new content. So one of the assumptions we talked about in this video is that child-free people have no sense of responsibility, which really baffles me when this assumption is made. What we do with our time is everything else that all people do minus dealing with children. Sure, some child-free people have the luxury of minimal responsibilities, but others are so bogged down with so much responsibility that the last thing that they want is more. It's actually exactly the same for parents. Some parents are struggling to get through their day, but others can afford live-in nannies, personal chefs, housekeepers, and it helps them free up their time. And by the way, to be completely fair, that doesn't mean that those parents are lounging around either. If they have the means to cover all those expenses, maybe they're running a stressful business or constantly having to make significant investment decisions. The thing here is that we just don't know. Before we move on, let me introduce myself for those of you who are here for the very first time. I'm Veronica. Me and my partner Rick are in our 40s and live a happy child-free life here in Austin, Texas. Rick is mostly behind the scenes handling the production end, but he's very passionate about this topic as well. In addition to making content here on YouTube, we also spend quite a bit of time on our Instagram page. So if you haven't followed us there, please do so because we cover a bunch of child-free topics and we definitely have some really good laughs. Okay, back to it. What we each do with our time is our choice. So why is it that our time as child-free people is not valued the same as parents? The answer is simple. In our society, the consistent messaging is that if you opt out of having children, your life is somehow less meaningful. Sure, we've made some progress in changing this belief system, but not enough for it to seep into the culture of our everyday lives. Have you ever felt that your time has been disrespected or not valued because you're child-free? Let us know in the comments below. We see so many examples of this at the workplace. Often, HR implements policies that support parents in terms of flexible schedules, childcare, and parental leave, but it doesn't accommodate child-free people if they have a pet to get home to, an elderly parent, or coping with physical or mental health issues, or maybe even working a second or third job. We saw the obvious bias during the pandemic, where in some cases, companies were providing flexibility for working parents, but not for the child-free. In fact, there were quite a few articles explaining how child-free people were being constantly asked to pick up the slack. Okay, so just a quick side note here, because obviously if I had the time and a parent was struggling, I would 1000% want to help them, like I'm sure many of you would, but that's not the point. The point is that during the pandemic, the assumption was that all child-free people just had all this time in the world to give to others and were not going through their own personal struggles. Another example where our time is not valued is where we are expected to provide free childcare services. Now, this didn't happen to me so much, but plenty of you have sent us messages that you have friends or family members who ask you to babysit, pick up kids from school, or just drop off their kid when they need support. The issue here, as you have shared with us, is that it's expected expected because the common thought is, what else are you doing with your time anyway? Another side of this, and one we have experienced, is that when you do spend time with family members or friends with kids, they sometimes view it as a break for themselves. I remember a specific example a while back. Rick and I went to a friend's house for a barbecue, and the parents would disappear into the house and leave us to take care of and play with their kids. Again, I understand that parents can be exhausted, but it doesn't mean that we're not exhausted from our own work week. And also, we weren't really looking to spend a Sunday afternoon as childcare workers. Lastly, our time isn't valued because we don't have the built-in kid excuse. My own parent friends have shared with me that they use their kids as an excuse on a regular basis. So I was curious about it. I Googled it so that I could share some of my findings with you. And these quotes are from an article called 21 Totally Relatable Times Moms Have Used Their Kids as an Excuse. When you want to get out of a meeting on a weekend and you use your child as an excuse, mentioning to your client that it's your turn to take your child to dance class. Whenever I don't want to answer a text right away or ever, I'll just say, oops, my daughter was playing with my phone. She must have messed it up because I never saw it. The childcare center at the gym I go to gives us a little pager that vibrates if my kid needs me. I have been known to pretend to feel it vibrate when I really just want to get out of class early. Yeah, when I say I'm sorry, I don't have a babysitter, what I really mean is I don't want to do that. So obviously, these are just a few of the many examples that parents use, and as we know, we don't have this option. When we give an excuse, it's sometimes considered not good enough, or it's investigated or interrogated. This is yet another built-in belief system in society which favors parents as having an obvious reason to not do something. Our reasons or excuses as child-free people may not be obvious, but it does not make them any less meaningful. It is so important to create a culture that embraces, not undermines our individuality. I wish I could tell you when we will get there, but all we can do is continue to stand up for ourselves and our child-free life, whether by choice or by circumstance. Rick and I do believe that together we can make the changes that need to happen in order to ensure equality, fairness, and inclusivity for both parents and the child-free. That is all for now. So if you enjoyed hanging out with us today, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified next time we release new content. Also, I'm adding these two videos here, which I think you will really enjoy. We thank you, we appreciate you, and we're excited to see you next week.